Welcome to Building Great Sales Teams, a show dedicated to making sales teams tick, tick, boom. Great sales teams are not recruited, they are built, block by block. Let's get to work.
All right, guys, we got Scott Simons here.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get, well, not trying, I should say, but we've been talking about getting you on the podcast before I even started it.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted it to be in person, too. I got a lot of respect for you, brother. You're a serial entrepreneur. You own, you and your partners own 5 car dealerships.
Yeah.
And just always bringing a ton of value. And you're the TRX GOAT, man.
Man, I tell you, I've been so fortunate. I get in these groups and, Apex, Arte, of course, a lot of where we met it through is Apex. And I got in the groups and, man, people are just, our tribe supports each other.
Yeah.
Like no other, man. I heard that before I joined, but once I joined the group and everybody's so kind and they're so supportive of anything that we do. But I've been real fortunate. Yeah, I've sold quite a few TRXs for sure.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to Zach Sasser last night, and we were in the parking lot, and 2 of them were in the parking lot. And I was like, man, this is about to turn into a TRX parking lot.
I've got probably one of the biggest influencers out there right now. That I'm not going to say anything yet, but once I get his TRX delivered to him, I'm hoping he'll tag me in a post, because I think across his platforms he's got about 50 million followers. So I'm hoping once I don't count a chicken before it's hatched, because this gentleman happens to want to take that TRX and modify it heavily. Comes with 700 horsepower, so 6.2 liter supercharged.
Yeah.
He wants it to be boosted to 1,000 horsepower, plus be able to produce 1,000 at 91% octane. So at a lower octane level. Okay. Because where he's at, he doesn't have access to 93% octane.
Okay.
So, no, it's just, my parents, my mom and dad worked really, really hard. I learned a lot of really good life lessons from them,
I heard a lot of your story on Jeff Brecken's podcast, and that was really cool. It turns out a lot of us have a lot of similarities in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's your parents play such a big role in your life, and for the people that aren't fortunate enough to have really good parents, I try to mentor and help other people and try to give back, because I was really fortunate with 2 great parents. Just treat people how you want to be treated. And, my biggest issue right now is just trying to keep up with it all. It's like it's so many messages, and, you don't want to not follow up.
Right.
Forget, no matter what the crazy request is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get some crazy requests, and of course, people will contact, say, "Hey, Scott, can you get your hands on this?" I'm like, "I'll really try," but it's really tough. Like, I just helped someone locate a Ford Raptor, which is very hard to find, as you know. So, I just try to serve and give back.
So, a while back, I reached out to you about a Ford F-150 King Ranch. I wanted a very specific King Ranch so we could run this podcast trailer that we're in right now.
Yeah.
And dude, those things are just not on the market. You know what I mean? And also, obviously, your specialty is Dodge, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And you just told me straight up, like, hey, man, I don't want you to have to wait.
Yeah.
If you can find it somewhere else, go get it. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that. Me and Sam Kaufman were talking about that a little bit. Customers don't mind negatives. What they hate is negative surprises, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so you don't want to be the guy that's always like, I got you, and then you don't deliver. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's honesty's always the best policy, and you always want to try to exceed people's expectations. And right now in this car market, it's just crazy. Truck market, especially Ford, GM, they've been hit a little bit harder than the Ram, with this chip shortage, labor shortage, now part shortage. It's all sorts of shortages that's been created basically when COVID started. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. So for the people that are listening, the value that I would provide is start your process to buy something early. Yeah. So that way you have plenty of time. Best time to buy something is when you don't have to. Right. The best time to sell something is when you don't have to. So if you just plan, like, I'm growing this solar company or this roofing company. Let me sit and talk about our projections for this year, and let's go on and have those equipment projections, and let's go on and start that process now. Contact your local dealer, contact me.
Right.
And within my network, I typically can find it, even if it's not directly sold by me.
Right.
So I have the 5 dealerships, Honda, Nissan, Subaru, Volkswagen, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and we can ship throughout the country. But in my group, we have 20 stores, which includes a Ford store.
Nice.
But no, it's just treating people how you would want to be treated, and just being straight up and honest with them. And you found one. I was like, hey, Doug, man, like I'd buy it, man.
Yeah.
Go buy it before they sell it.
Yeah,
You're
and
like,
it was $5,000 over sticker.
Yeah.
It was
I hate it, man.
It was an in-demand vehicle, and
I've never sold over MSRP. I never will. Even when I sell the TRXs, I include shipping in the MSRP. I would not sell a vehicle over MSRP.
that's amazing.
I've ordered Cadillac Escalades for a lot of people, which they're bringing 25,000 over sticker. And just people have to be patient.
Yeah.
Because we have to order is in order to get it. But no, we would talk about mixing up on it. I mean, this is awesome. I mean,
Yeah, isn't it cool?
You've got a mobile. People talk about podcasts.
Yeah.
But bro, like let's go out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing up, going out a parking lot was going out getting drunk or something.
Right, exactly.
Drunk on energy drinks. This is unique for sure.
So we're at $1 Million Mastermind 22, and we're in front of the Comerica Center, and there's a Drury Hotel next to it. There's a parking lot, and we're sitting right here in the parking lot.
Like, where are we going? I thought we were going out here to smoke a joint or something. We're doing a podcast.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted you on the podcast is because I understand sales positions, right? And up until probably the podcast I did last week with Jory Dane Mack, I always thought like door-to-door sales was like one of the hardest sales positions, and then one of the hardest to maintain people and to not have a lot of turnover for, right? And then I talked to Jory, and he does the kiosks in the mall.
Wow.
So that I feel like that's right there with door to door, right?
Yeah.
And so car sales is one of those positions, because I've gotten a lot of car salesmen through my doors, you know what I mean? And then I've had people leave to go sell cars, It's one of those positions that is also high turnover, you know what I mean? And is also incredibly tough, and you have to have this amazing mental state. And so when you can have a successful door-to-door team, when you can have a successful kiosk team in a mall, or a car sales team, you've got sales teams figured out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would love for you to just kind of tell us, what is your philosophy on building a great sales team?
Yeah, and that's a great question. The average auto salesperson first year turnover average is 70%. I had a big shift in my life quite a few years ago, and I was so hell-bent on being a car dealer that I was going to do whatever it took to get there. I was winning in business, but I was losing as a husband, as a dad, as a friend, as a leader, because I said I cared about people, but really all I cared about was accomplishing my goal. I was winning just based on in business, but I was losing everything else, and I let my health go, and I had a big light switch, and I had to make a change, because if I didn't make a change, I was going to be successful by myself, and that's not fun. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you're supposed to help everybody else win, then you win. And it took me having a huge wake-up call. I was either having a heart attack or stroke in the showroom. My wife told me if I don't make changes, that her new husband, which she did throw in a jab and said he would be much younger than me, would be walking my daughter down the aisle. And I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, damn, that really sucks.
That's a hell of a way to put it.
Yeah, my wife and I, we've
real.
been married dated or married over 30 years. I met her when I was 17. She was 15. I turned 50 this year. And we have 2 children, and we're polar opposite people. I like talking to people. I'll shake hands. I'm very outgoing. She's quiet. She doesn't like social media. She wouldn't come to an event like this. It's just not her thing. She doesn't say, you don't go, I don't go.
But you did get her out here recently, right?
I have. I try to bring her out to events, and I have not. I've taken her to a couple events, but I don't think we got her out here yet.
Yeah, gotcha.
But we will. She promised she'll start going to at least one or two.
Maybe the smaller group one, maybe Flying Friday or something.
But because I'd like her to meet people, and meet the people that I hang out with. But going back to asking about building a team. So had a switch. I said, look, I need to help you win. I need to help other people win. I need to find out what's important to Doug. I need to find out what's important to these people. So what I started doing was, I said, I know what my goals and dreams are, but what's yours? And then I would sit and give a career flight plan. Like, okay, what do you want to accomplish? Well, I want to be where you're at, Scott, one day, which a lot of salespeople tell me.
That's what they always say, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll show you. You start off as a product specialist with a salary pay plan. We train you. Then we're going to teach you on how to build your machine.
Yeah.
It's like we learn.
Yeah.
We teach you how to utilize social media. We teach you health, wealth, finances, whatever you want. We'll help send you to college, your family to college, through a program through FCA, through Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. But I want to know your 3 personal and 3 professional goals. And we're going to review them every quarter. You're going to email me and you're going to email your leader, because it's important that your leader knows. So 3 personal, 3 professional goals, and we're going to review them every quarter.
How do you frame those? Because a lot of times there'll be 3 goals that they can hit in a month, right?
No, it's got to be, first of all, losing weight is not a goal. Making more money is not a goal. Specifically, how much weight do you want to lose? Specifically, how much money do you want? It's not all about finances.
Right.
Sometimes they'll say they want to buy their first house.
Yeah.
So if I'm coaching and leading you, Doug, and you're struggling a little bit, I may say, hey, go and put that house you want to buy as your screensaver on your phone. Go put it on your monitor. Hey, Doug, remember that, man? You want to start that college fund for your child. Come on, man. You got to do the things.
Gotta have a visual representation of that every day. Yeah, we used to do dream boards.
Yeah. And so we find out what's important to them. We also, I started quite a few years ago a mentorship. I don't mentor people outside the dealerships. I get offered, people offer to pay me. At this point, I don't offer it, but I may.
Yeah.
I may do some one-on-one coaching. I may do some things. I'm not set up to do it, and I'm not going to do anything half-assed, but I get a lot of requests. And I'll jump on a call, a pick your brain call, which I get a lot.
Yeah.
But I'll keep it brief, and it's very direct and to the point, and people don't like that very much. But,
well, you know what Thomas Keenan taught me on his podcast is, so he's got a Calendly link, and whenever they ask the pick your brain question, and obviously you got to frame it, you got to qualify it, and if it's just, hey, they're trying to take advantage of you a little bit. He sends them the Calendly link, and it's got $1,000 payment on it.
Yeah, hey, I get it, because what's our time worth? And you know what? If people don't pay, they don't typically take it serious.
Exactly.
They have no skin in the game.
You know who told me that? Mike Claudio. Yeah. So he at first, when I was doing the consulting, I had taken 12 different calls for all different companies, and I was just trying to figure out how I was going to set up my model. And he was like, none of them are going to be successful, right? Because they didn't pay for it. Yeah, no. When you pay for it, you actually execute because you want to get your money's worth,
Absolutely. Yeah. So at the dealership, you have to apply. I learned some lessons. When I first offered a mentorship up, I would say, okay, who wants to come in? No. Why do you want to be considered for this mentorship? We will review your application. So anything you're doing, there has to be skin in the application. Like, why do I want to join, and are you going to get accepted or not?
Yeah.
Once you're accepted, we could remove you at any time. And how my mentorship works is we go through health. We go through health, wealth, relationships. We stay away from religion. We stay away from the others, controversial subjects, politics. When we go into our meetings at Monday at noon, I'm not the boss. There's no corporate rules. You can't call HR on me. It's voluntary.
Yeah.
It's during lunch. You can eat during lunch, but you can't come to my meeting and then go to lunch. This is your lunch. You're giving up something.
Gotcha.
It's during store hours in a conference room, and we just talk about life. I mean, we get down and dirty. We're not allowed to speak outside of what we talk about because we get personal. We have guest speakers come in about credit repair, we're not selling them anything. It's just health.
You had Jeff come in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had nutritionists come in. We bring in guest speakers.
Yeah.
And then the program, once they're out, we have a little ceremony for them.
Nice.
And we've got a lot of good feedback from that. And I will say this, I won't share the gentleman's name, but we literally saved an employee's life.
I've heard, you've got to tell this story.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah. So we had a gentleman, love him dearly, that went through some really traumatic things, and he wasn't acting himself. His sales went down. he lost a daughter that was actually not his biological daughter, but was his daughter, was lost her to a murder. And his live-in girlfriend, the biological dad came to the funeral, and his girlfriend got back with the biological dad and kicked him out.
Wow.
So I helped raise you. You were murdered. I can't grieve you. As a matter of fact, I got to get my stuff and I got to go. So I don't know what else could happen to a person, and it broke him and started affecting his sales. He just was just devastated, devastated. And he came and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna quit." And I'm like, "What do you mean you're gonna quit?" And, I think going through grief, sometimes you go buy things, and his sales went down, so he racked up some debt. He had to go get his own place, Yeah. And I said, well, wait a minute, where are you going, man? This ain't like you. And something went right. And, if you're busy, your head down, hey, man, your sales went down, good luck to you. So if you don't have that personal relationship, he wouldn't look me in the eye. He was acting real nervous. He was sweating. I'm like, something's off. Something's not right. I'm not accepting this. Where are you going? I'm going to go live in this other town with one of my brothers on a couch. I'm like, bro, like, man, I'm not accepting this. I'm not accepting this. Like, you're going to come back, take the rest of the day. We're going to talk tomorrow. If it's money, time off, if it's hours, different position, there's not an objection you got that I won't overcome. I'll give you anything. Like, I'm not accepting it.
Turns out I'm a professional at this.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not, because something just didn't feel right. Came back the next day, he said, boss, thank you. And it took about 6 months later in a mentorship that he stepped up and said, because I asked people to write down their credit score in the mentorship on a piece of paper, hand it to me with their name, and then they had to go pull their credit. Whoever was the closest got $100. One guy was within 2 points. Because my point was, do you know what your credit score is?
Right.
One guy was 250 points off because his mom and dad put him on a credit card as an authorized user. He thought he was a 500, he was a 750.
Yeah.
But half the people didn't even pull their credit. This guy stood up and he was like, look, if you're not going to take this man's time serious and respect him, he's here giving up his time. And then he said, I just want y'all to know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be alive. He said, I came in, I had a noose hanging up in my closet. I came in to tell him bye because all he did for me, and the man would not accept my resignation. And I wanted to go home and kill myself, but I couldn't. I wouldn't do it to disappoint him because he wouldn't give up on me. He said if he didn't do that, I don't know if I had the courage to do it or not, but I had full intention of going home and hanging myself.
That's beautiful.
So he gave me a handwritten note, a Superman shirt, and he gave me the noose in a box. And he said,
that's powerful.
Yeah, and I still got it in my office. I take it out to remind. Sometimes you have those bad days. You think, are you making a difference in someone's life? And I get choked up, just thinking about it. And then I get choked up when I read it. And that's what the difference, man, of really getting to know your people, like that mentorship.
Yeah.
It's tough because you really got to get to know your people. Some people say, my employees wouldn't let me do that. Well, if they've been there and you offer it to them, you'd be surprised. And it does take time. It takes valuable time.
It takes effort. It takes emotional energy.
Because it's tough living through other people's problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you would be surprised, though. Like, what you think is happening in your head and what's actually happening are typically two different things if you haven't had the conversation with the employee or the salesperson and you actually sit down with them and give them your time and ask them how they're doing, and not just the boilerplate, how you're doing, but how are you actually doing?
You got to do life with these people, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we spend... If an employee doesn't work out, we all should have the attitude of what did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? Not what they did wrong. Because if they weren't a good culture fit, we should have never hired them. So then we got a hiring problem. If we can't recruit people, it's our culture problem. If we can't maintain people, it's a problem. People leave based on their supervisor, the person they have most contact with. At the end of the day, it's my fault. We should have never hired them. Or once we hired them, then you're blessing them. If they don't work out, it's on you, not on them. And I did not have that approach, before. I was, hey, if they don't make it, tough shit, sink or swim, get your ass out of here.
Yeah, this is sales.
Yeah, this is sales, tough shit. Like like man up, woman up, or if you can either do it or you can't, go get them, Tiger. And then that's how you get the 70% turnover.
Yeah.
That's how you get turn and burn. That's how you're just like everybody else. Like I have 20 managers, 18 of them sold cars for me. That's unheard of. I love to promote from within. I love to give that career path if they want it. Some people don't want promoted. They want to just worry about themselves. And some people don't deserve to be promoted. Typically, our top producers are not the best at managing other people. They're better managing themselves. They don't want the responsibility because typically, if you're a really good salesperson and you go into management, you're on more stress. You're going to make less money.
Right.
Typically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So some people just want the title, but they truly don't want it. We just had to let a guy go. It sucked. It really sucked. And he was a producer, but he was not a good culture fit. And we made a decision to let him go. And he's a friend. That sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
But, we got to do what's in the best interest of the company. And when people won't realize and won't make changes, and when someone doesn't say they're sorry or ever admit that they're wrong, and doesn't see a problem and says, I'm a good closer, I don't care,
Yeah, that's not, I would have accepted that answer 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I would have praised you for it. You know what I mean? But not anymore. No, we need more out of this life than just numbers and metrics.
No, for sure. The world has changed. I mean, whether we like it or not, too, it's just gotten much softer.
Yeah.
Just in general, And I'm not saying it shouldn't have. I think we just both agreed to that point, but. The participation trophies, et cetera, man, it makes it really tough. You really got to nurture them a whole lot more, and a lot of them didn't get that. They didn't get the schools aren't going to teach our people. Sure in hell not. And schools aren't, government's not. We just heard Sean Whalen talk, and I always love hearing Sean speak, and. He smacks me right in the face every time he talks.
Every time.
I'm like, damn, that dude's talking to me. Wonk. You're sitting there, and I'm like, he's talking, staring right at me. But
you got to have, I feel like now you got to have both, right? Because you're right. So most of my salespeople are younger, right? And so we had a meeting yesterday. We're here at MDM. We're sponsoring. I got 18 people here.
Wow.
We're all standing around the booth, and I'm like, okay, you guys represent Argenza. Okay, we have our core values hanging up in the booth, and so that means like we do the work. You know what I mean? Just like in Apex, I've modeled my company after Apex 100%. And so I explained to them like when you leave trash somewhere or when you leave things unorganized, whatever the case is. And so I come back from shooting a couple of podcasts, and I come back to the booth, and it's a mess. And I'm like. And I look over at Rockstar's booth, and their booth looks great. I look over at Brandmaker's booth, and their booth looks great. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna fix everything, organize it, put it away, and then I'm gonna think about this. You know what I mean? And so I decided, I was gonna, I put a post in our sales flow chat, and I said, this is exactly what I was talking about. I showed a picture of it. We can't do this. We have to set the example. We're recruiting people today. And why are they going to want to come work for us if we're not the example?
Right.
And so, and then I showed the picture after. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to Wayne today. We were in our suite watching Sean Whalen. And I said, "You think I was too harsh?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was a little harsh." And but what you just said though, like, it's because they're a different generation. You know what I mean? And they were raised differently, and but they still need it. You know what I'm saying? That accountability, someone to say, hey, you didn't do your job today. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then later on this morning, I posted that yesterday. This morning, it was, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love that you're all here, and I can't wait to spend this time with you. You know what I'm saying?
When we form that relationship with our people, that personal relationship, not saying they got to come over to the house for dinner.
Right.
But when you get to know them, about what they want to accomplish, and it fits within what fit their dreams within the business's goals. Once you get to know them, though, you have the ability to manage them different. If I don't know them at all, and I'm a bit direct with them, which I am.
Yeah.
When they know that I care, then I can push them harder.
Exactly.
If they think that I don't care, then I'm just an asshole, like the other boss. You're just like the other arrogant assholes that run companies that won't listen.
Yeah.
But when they know you care, you can push them harder. And then when people step up and say, "Hey, Scott, I want to be more than what I am. I I want to be a manager. I want to go from product specialist to sales rep to sales professional to finance to sales manager to GSM to GM to managing partner to dealer. I want to be where you're sitting at one day. Yeah. When they say that, oh man.
Now
all
it's
right.
on. It's
now
on.
it's on.
It's
now
on.
you're going to get coached at a level you never get coached before. And just remember what you want. And I have the blueprint to get you there. I just sold 5% of our Honda store to a general manager, made him a partner. I didn't have to do that.
That's awesome.
That was my decision. But he deserved it. And someone did that for me. So, but a lot of people say, I'm not giving up my 5% of 20. That's giving up a fourth of what I own in one business.
Yeah.
No. Now he'll work even harder, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
So when people know you care, you can manage them, and when you know that they want more, I'm like, oh man, I'm hooking my horse up to that one.
So after I joined Apex, and I heard Sean Whelan speak, he talked about becoming a free man. The free man T-shirts, and I was like, that's it. That's what we need. So we have sales training, and then we have our freedom training, right? And as you move up in the sales position, sales role, sales production, you get freedom training along with that, because now you're making more money and you need education. And so some of our people are 1099, most of them are W-2, but the 1099 ones need tax education big time. And so we start them out there, and then we move into credit, and then we move into real estate investing. You know what I'm saying? And just like you were talking about, it's like a mentorship program as well, but it's kind of, it's done by Easier Accounting. It's done by Got Credit. It's done by Brandon Brittingham. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to start bringing those guys in and doing those trainings. But I'm bringing what they teach me every day and giving it to my guys right away.
That's so awesome.
And so that's what we kind of try to put together, and it's exactly what you're talking about. And hey, you know what? If they work with us, they make $100,000, they take $50,000, they go start their own business. Let's go. Give me 10 of those guys a year.
Hey,
I got 10 testimonies now that I can talk about and actually show you videos on, and they're doing video testimonies and stuff like that, and I can recruit with that.
So if 90% of small businesses fail, what we tell our people is this: this is your audition of owning your own business, coming and selling these cars.
Yeah.
We supply the inventory, we supply the advertising, we supply the power, we supply everything you need.
Yeah.
If 90% of small businesses fails, what's your goals and dreams? Well, my goal and dream is to own my own car dealership one day, or own my own detail shop or whatever. Okay, that's fine. We'll help you get there, just like you said. But you need to learn financial literacy. You need to learn all those things you just talked about.
Yeah.
If you can't be successful just managing yourself, given all the tools, you sure are not going to be successful there. So come in and let us teach you about all these things. And if there's ever a way that you want to go better your life, nobody would ever say, hey, Doug, that's a terrible idea. And that's exactly what it sounds like that you're doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do. This is an audition. And if you are hustle and do everything, I told one young man that he wants his own detail shop. To be honest with you, he was selling drugs on the streets. And his grandmother and a friend brought him in and said, hey, what can you do with this young man? I said, damn, I ain't working with much here.
Yeah.
We put him in recon. I said, what's your goals and dreams? I want to own a recon shop. If you do a good job, I will help you. Now, we had him for 2 years. He was an excellent employee, and he just went off the deep end. It's completely off the deep end. And we unfortunately ended up having to let him go, and it was sad. But he left us in a position. Some people just can't get that lifestyle out. Like
It's a sickness.
He's got a lot of scars from his childhood that can't be overcome. He needs help, and we try to get him help, but there's certain things as a company we can't tolerate, some things that happened, not to us, but outside of work that was contacted by family members. But we just say, hey, what's your goals and dreams? We'll help you get there too. It's no problem. But if you come here and you're not going to be successful in this, the likelihood of being successful out there is pretty slim.
Right. Exactly. And when you frame it that way, it makes a lot of sense, because that's the first thing that happens is somebody's successful in sales, or maybe they're even successful in managing a team, and then they start thinking in their head, well, I can do it myself.
Yeah.
And I created my company to give me an opportunity I didn't have when I was 18, 19 years old.
Right.
I got a lot of opportunity, don't get me wrong, working for other entrepreneurs, and I learned a lot. But there was no development piece. Yeah. There wasn't a development piece until about 18 months ago when I joined Apex, And And I read the books and stuff like that, but I never executed because I didn't have friends like Scott saying, hey, did you execute on that thing yet? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's just different when you're in a group like this. But yeah, coming up through my 20s, I didn't understand any of that financial stuff. I didn't understand credit. I didn't understand lending. I didn't understand operations, and I did a lot of that stuff naturally. I had a natural talent for ops. But, and then the big piece, which, we can talk about too, is I didn't understand how to, I went all on my business. I was a badass in the business. And then I just left the family, the physical fitness, and the faith in the rearview mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been there. It's, you can't, it's not fun to win alone. And you got to remember, why are we doing all this? Mm-hmm. And it can, sometimes you can forget. And it family has to come first. They have to. They must. And there's balance. And the advice I give to anybody is just live life to the fullest. Be present with your family. Go do some fun shit. Don't sit around.
Yeah.
Get
your body moving with them.
Yeah. Go and do stuff. Like my wife wants to go to New York this summer, and we're polar opposites. Hell yeah, honey, let's go to New York. She likes going to where beaches and stuff are. Hey, honey, let's go. Like, I don't like to sit and relax on the beach. I like to get on the Sea-Doo and go do 70 miles an hour in the water. Now, so what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of both.
Nice.
But you've got to have, like I said, I was at 265 pounds, terrible blood pressure, successful monetarily wise, but I was not a good human.
Yeah.
Because I was just so fixated on achieving that goal that I was going to do whatever. I was going to step on whoever. I was going to just grind people's asses out.
That's what the movies taught us, right?
Yeah,
that's what
I was that
the
guy.
Culture taught us at the time.
And man, it took, unfortunately, and I think the point I'd like to get through with this, anybody's listening to this podcast, is this. The big takeaway is I think we've shared a lot of good things, and it's been a great show. But, you've got to sit and think about what is truly, like Sean just talked about, Sean Whalen, what is truly important to you? And then be a good human to everybody else, but you can be a good human and win and accomplish all those things, and still you can win and still be a good human. I think is the point I would like to get across to everybody. Just because I win doesn't mean you have to lose. It doesn't mean, don't let jealousy and envy and all those things steal your pride and joy. Just try to get better every single day, knowing that we're going to step backwards sometimes. I mean, I'm not perfect. I get up about 4:30. There's days I don't want to, but I do. There's days I don't want to be in those dealerships. No one better ever know.
Yeah.
Because then I haven't done my job. I'm the leader. They're looking at me. I dealt with adversity coming down here. So did everybody else. I made it. Be happy I'm here. I've got that out of Sean's message this morning. But don't wait and make changes when you have to. Start making those changes today.
Absolutely.
Today. Listen to this advice that we've shared with you. And I'm, by no means know everything at all. I feel often, but don't wait till you have a heart attack or your blood pressure's sky high and you barely drop over and God gives you another chance and you're a complete dickhead and your wife wants to divorce you and
that's what I did.
Yeah.
I got her back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
You get so fixated with wanting to accomplish those goals that you forget who you are.
Yeah.
And man, just don't, man, woman, anybody listening to this, don't wait for something bad to happen to make those changes where you go to a doctor's appointment or your wife has that conversation with you or you're looking around and you're winning and ain't nobody around.
Exactly.
Because you turn into just a dickhead or just being a bad person.
No, that's very true. So you own 25 different businesses.
Yeah.
So what is next for Scott Simons?
I've started getting a little bit into crypto, which scares the hell out of me, but the people that are advising me have been extremely successful.
Yeah.
I still enjoy the auto industry. I enjoy it a lot. The day that I show up to those dealerships and I don't smile and I don't look like I'm having a great time, which I am, then I'll do something else. That's still my love. That's still my passion. I am, just like you, starting to look at some different things. I've started a new venture called the Savage Initiative, which...
I saw the videos and the pictures.
Which is Adam Smith. You met Adam up there.
Yeah.
I think that in this world, there's a real need for men and women to be trained on how to protect themselves. I love that. I don't want to be proactive in this. I want it to be more reactive. But with some of the things, I mean, Canada just took away everybody's guns, the ability to buy guns. I thought I read online.
Yeah.
You've got all these scary things where riots and stuff happen and people's houses getting broken into. And I think there's a lot of turbulence on the horizon. And an untrained person is very dangerous. And it's not the good people with guns we got to worry about. It's the bad people. And even if they want to take AR-15s or whatever away from people, which violates their Second Amendment, the bad people are still going to have the guns.
Yeah.
So we've got this vision of leadership, men, women, being able to professionally use a firearm. And to be able to self-defense and be able to lead your family. And we had our first event. It was just invite only friends.
Yeah.
We wanted honest feedback.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing it for the money. Obviously my time is worth money also. So if I do something, I want to be compensated fairly for it.
Yeah.
But we wanted just to see with this first event, do we have anything?
Yeah.
Did we provide a service that people would see value in? And the people that attended, we got great response. We got 16 hours worth of video.
That's badass.
And we learned some things. We've never done an event before, even though it was small. Most definitely learned some things. And we truly stay tuned. I mean, we're going to have probably 4 events a year, probably based in Virginia. We haven't picked the dates yet. It's a day at the dealerships, all about business, finances. I answered a question about S Corporation, my S Corporation, and all that is just an entity that has all my businesses, our family businesses in it. I got my wife on payroll, my children on payroll.
Yeah.
And then the next day is all gun. We shot, I think there was 15 of us. We had 15,000 rounds of ammunition. So we laid a lot of lead that day.
Nice.
Adam Smith trained. Steve was there, which he's...
Schubacher?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Steve is such a good dude.
He's amazing.
He bought a Raptor from bought a TRX from me, bought 2. He drove all the way from Chicago to bring down guns and ammunition to support us in that event.
Wow.
That's like 10 hours.
Yeah.
And he was there just to volunteer. And his feedback was, it was an amazing event. He said that Adam Smith, my partner and co-founder, is the best he's ever seen at gun training. Like at the end of the day too, I felt comfortable with the pistol. Everybody can sit and say, I got all these pictures of these guns and they look cool.
Yeah.
But can you efficiently use them? The answer before that day, and I still need to practice, was no.
Yeah.
The people that attended, we all were better by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then third day was, we had a trainer from American Top Team, former trainer from American Top Team, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, come in, and that was humbling. We all think as men we're probably pretty tough, and probably some women. I was humbled. I was humbled. My neck and my Adam's apple hurt from being choked. I learned a lot of valuable lessons. Keep your head up. Looking down's for losers. Always keep your head up if you're on your phone or anything. Keep your head up, because if you're not and you're a wrestler or you're grappling, they'll snatch that neck and you're in a chokehold within seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the guy that trained us literally within seconds trained us on how through a handshake you grab wrist control, you pull down with a maneuver, and he had my head down near his stomach and had me in chokehold with one hand. And I didn't even know what happened to me from just a regular handshake that he thought I was a threat.
Wow.
It was humbling. I realized that I needed more training, and I realized that there's different levels to this stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have got the training 20 years ago, because I think we all kind of walk around thinking, I could kick his ass. Okay, well, I learned by the end of it, there's a lot of people's asses I couldn't kick, and those 2 guys, I sure in hell, those men could have killed me with their bare hands. Now, I did learn some things of how to get out some things, and how I did learn some movements myself, and the people...
You learned enough to be dangerous, and that's the whole point of this Savage Initiative.
To be aware, and to be aware of what's going on around you, and could I protect my family? And I honestly say, I think I'm much better off to be able to do that, and it's coming. We've got a vision for it, and I think there's a demand for it. I think
I'm down. I can tell you right now.
I think there's people that don't know what to do.
Yeah,
they're at home and they want to defend their families, and what do? What? So we partnered up with Steve. What gun do I buy? How do I safely store that gun so a family member doesn't get hurt?
Yeah, I bought a few Glocks in a safe from Steve.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to roll, but I definitely need a lot more. Me and Alicia need a lot more training.
Yeah,
on it,
and you know,
for sure.
I never want to be put in a situation where I'm helpless. I can't defend my family, and I don't plan on ever being in that position.
Okay, so Savage Initiative.
Yeah.
Where can people get in contact with you?
What you could do right now is connect with me. So I'm on Facebook, Scott Simons. I'm at my friend limit. So if you'll follow me at this point, we've got a business page coming. We've got a chief marketing officer that joined us. We're talking to, I want to make sure, I'm sure you've done a bunch of businesses where if it's not set up properly at the beginning, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
I'm involved in one right now that's tough. I've got 25 businesses, 23's making money, 2 aren't. The 2 that aren't keep me up at night. And one of them is just because we rushed and we didn't set up everything properly.
Right.
And if you do that, I'm telling you, you better get with an attorney, get everything crystal clear in writing, get it all set up properly, or it's going to make it much more difficult.
Yeah,
much more difficult.
When I first started, I used the boilerplate like LegalZoom and those different sites and stuff like that. And now I just message Jessica.
Yeah. Hey, this is what I want done.
Yeah.
And sign this up. And ownership, not ownership, partnership, voting rights, dissolution, all these different things that you got to go through.
Yeah.
So we're going through all that now. But my partner's Adam Smith. He's got Savage Freedom, which is his own company where he does training. He trains police officers, and he'll go and do corporate training retreats. Ours is more of full spectrum leadership. More. His is if you want to be professional about a gun, but we mixed it together and we think that we complement each other well.
Nice.
And then with their chief marketing officer. So just follow up. Scott Simons. I'm on Instagram. And I'm on Facebook.
And Adam Smith.
He's
got a very common name.
Yep. Adam Smith is on there.
We'll find him. We'll put him in the show notes.
If you would do that, we would really appreciate it. And stay tuned. It's coming out soon, and I'll send you those links once we have them up. But I wanted to get all the legal. We've got the website secure, but I want to get all the legal works done correctly to make sure we don't have problems.
Yeah, and even if y'all get it in 3 or 4 months, once you post it, we'll update the show notes.
That'd be awesome.
So that way the people that listen, 6 months from now can have that.
We would appreciate that.
Man, it has been an honor having you on this show.
I appreciate it, man.
I've been looking forward to it for a long time.
Yeah.
And you just dropped a ton of knowledge, so I really appreciate you coming on.
It's an honor for me to be on here. I think that this is progressive. I mean, what you're doing here, no one else is doing. And what I really respect of you is people talk about doing it. They talk about doing a podcast.
Yeah.
They talk about spending the money and the resources and building something like this. You do it. You do
Appreciate that. Yeah.
And don't also be. I'm here talking to myself. Don't also sit and not take action.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's set up properly. But you take action.
I appreciate
we're sitting in here. I remember we kind of first talked about it much longer. Bam! I'm sitting out here and recording right here live. So
that's awesome.
A lot of respect right back to you. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, anybody, reach out to me. Car market's crazy, but I'm involved in a lot of different things. Car market's crazy. If I can help you in any way, reach out to me. If I can't, I will steer you in the right direction. I'll help you. Just DM me, and if I don't respond, I don't have bots. I will get back to you.
Yeah.
Someone says, "Is this really you?" Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, that's me.
I guess I need to hire some of the virtual assistants and learn all that stuff. But I'm kind of old school, So anyway,
I've done that, but they don't touch my messages.
Yeah.
In any case, appreciate you coming on, and likewise, if I can do anything for you, of course. And it's been an honor. You guys follow Scott. Absorb his content. He's got a lot of great stuff, and let's get building.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Building Great Sales Teams. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. Remember, great sales teams are not recruited. They are built block by block. Until next time.